All right. Welcome in. You found us once again. Shoot the Gap, the generational fantasy football focus show spanning the gap of the 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I am so happy to say we finally got our 30s back. Yeah, it's a great day when the doc is here. So let me introduce, well, first of all, I am your humble MC, Brian Amigo Baldwin. And jumping straight to it, I'm excited, happy, pleased. Yes, it warms my heart to see Ethan, the Gut Marshall. How you doing, Ethan?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm honored that you called me the Gut, because then maybe I would be, in the playoffs in our league. But no, it's the Doc.
My legs.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, you're all good. You're all good. Man, it's good to be back, man. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. Doing my Doc thing. For those of you who don't know, I'm not a doctor. I don't deliver babies or give you medicine. I'm an academic doctor, and so I've had some job interview stuff lined up. It's a pretty crazy process. For those of you who don't know, it's like you have rounds of interviews, and then the final one, it's like you interview with 5 people. You have to give a research talk. You have to teach a class. It's like a 10 to 12 hour process, and I've been prepping for it. It's coming up soon. So
Nice.
That has been why fantasy football has taken kind of a back seat for me.
Wow. Losing in fantasy football, but winning in life. That's awesome, my brother. That's awesome.
We'll see.
Yeah. And now the actual the real Gut. Yeah. Connor, the Gut Marshall. Sorry about that, my brother. I'm just so used to just introducing you. That the Gut just came out. Yeah. So my lugs on that, dude. How you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm feeling the first feelings of being old. I have to go to the chiropractor next week.
Oh, why you gotta go there, man?
Because I'm experiencing the lower back pain you get when you turn my age.
See, here's the thing. Like, this is the 20s, right?
Yeah.
When you're 30,
it gets worse, right?
You'll drive, and you'll feel a tickle in your nose, and you'll sneeze, and your back is done. That's when you know you're getting old. That's when you know.
Forward to.
Oh man, yeah, I've done that sleeping. I've thrown my back out sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah. Fire in my sleep or something?
I don't know, dude. I just went to bed. I was fine. Woke up and fuck. I don't know, man. It happens. Yeah. So this is our 40th show, man. Can you imagine? Can you believe we made it to 40 freaking shows? Can you believe that, dude? Yeah, so thank you for everybody that has been along for the journey, so let's just go and throw it right there. Doc, I'll give you the honors, man. If people are entertained by 3 generational beefheads just bantering about, what should they do, my brother?
They should click that subscribe button so you can receive all our material when we put it out, and also click the bell icon so you get alerts for those Saturday afternoons when the videos hit. Before Sundays, you know who to sit and who to start. And then on Monday evenings or Tuesday mornings, you can hear the wrap up and know where you made some mistakes and could have, started Antonio Gibson or not started him, depending on what week we're talking about.
Oh, the poor boy that needs a tow truck. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, you brought that, dude. You're ready. You're on fire, man. You're good to go. That rest has done you well, man.
Yeah, well, it was like with him, it's just like I have a team that I did make the playoffs. I'm number 2. I locked in the number 2 spot, but my team has fallen apart because of injuries over the last 2 weeks. And I know I'm not going to go any further because I lost so many important pieces. So,
dude, no. That's one thing. One thing you guys are going to see, like after the season, stick around because we're going to talk about like lessons that we learned, and and I think we're going to talk a little bit to that. I learned a huge lesson this season that I'll talk about then. So that's a little cliffhanger. Another incentive to click the like and subscribe button. So this is December 12th, man. This is in the foul year of our Lord, man. And so today we're going to be talking about the shoot or ceasefire for week 14th, which is very important because it's the first week of the playoffs. Hopefully you got your bye. If you did not, then this is where you're fighting for your playoff life, which is fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So, but we'll be talking about that. And but last show, Connor and I touched on the Reaper meter. I guess it'd be what the not to go, little be like double here, but the death of the Reaper meter, so to speak. Yeah. So let me ask you, Doc. Connor and I were saying, man, I meant that the Reaper meter is used, to rate, if the season's going to end or be cut short because of the COVID, and they kind of weathered the storm, and we're, and of course where we're at in the season, we were thinking about, putting it off till next year, and if there's something that threatens the season for next year. What's your thoughts on that, Doc?
I think that's perfect. We saw was it last week when the whole Baltimore Steelers debacle went down? Yeah,
the first Wednesday night football ever. Yeah,
yeah. When that
Wednesday
happened,
afternoon. Yeah.
When that happened, then when we saw 3 days before that, Denver just didn't have a quarterback and they played anyways. Yeah. And then Baltimore and Washington played when both teams were missing massive amounts of players. To me, that just told me season's going to go. Yeah. It's just not going to stop. They're not going to let it stop, because most of the teams are doing the right thing, and they're staying healthy. There's some isolated stuff, but because of the protocols, they're tracking it, they're tracing it, they're keeping it contained. And the punishments that they're dealing out, I'm sure, is helping too. And we're in week 14. I mean, what's the point now? I mean, the season's going to.
We got 3 weeks left.
Yeah. So, Connor, well, let's use this time then real quick. Instead of talking about the Reaper meter, let's talk about the blast and blanks of Thursday then.
That's not going to be hard. There weren't very many.
Shoot, then go. You know what? You cover the whole thing, dude. Yeah, we talked a lot. Let's have you hit it.
There were a couple of obviously, if you started Cam Akers on Thursday, like me, you were happy. He had a great game. The man ran for almost 400 yards. I'm joking. He did have almost 200 yards in the ground, though, over 20 rush attempts. If you started Robert Woods, you were unhappy. And Cooper Kupp caught a touchdown.
I was happy.
Yeah, I know you were. Jared Goff, he had a decent day. He ran in. He ran in a touchdown, and he also threw a touchdown, but he did throw a pick, and he only had 137 yards, so it was a very middling performance. And then obviously you were pretty unhappy if you started anyone on the Patriots. Cam Newton got benched. He had 5 points for fantasy.
Oh man, I was watching that broadcast, and then they put up that stat first quarterback to throw for 5,000 yards and run for over 1,000 yards. You're like, that's the guy. I mean, he must use up all of his freaking powers, because that don't look like the same dude.
Yeah, in one league where it was only a 14 playoff, so we're playing for our playoff lives. I dropped Cam after, what was it, last week that he had a decent game? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they scored 45 points on the Chargers. And I was like, nope, I'm not chasing that. I'm going to drop it as a landmine for someone else.
Nice. Smart.
My opponent picked them up and started them this week. And now they only got 5 points from their quarter.
Excellent. And that's actually great. That's something. Yeah, that's awesome that you did that. And you even thought of a phrasing for it, because me and the Amigo have been talking about doing that for a couple of weeks, but we didn't have a on-brand name for it, like landmine. That's what we're going to call it now.
Yep, landmine.
Hey, look at you, dude. Man, you are on it right now, dude. You need to take a couple of shows off, dude. When you come back, you're on fire, my brother. Jeez. Holy mackerel. Wow.
Speaking of firing, before we get into the shoot or ceasefire, you want to go ahead and thank the sponsors for the show, Brian?
Speaking of firing, let's talk about our supporters. Okay, all right. If anybody caught that, then you're very special. Segue. Yeah, man. I'll start off, dude, with of course, the one place, man, the special place, dude, where you can catch shows, man, like Andrew B's Vocal Sounds, man, the Business Knowledge Broker Show, the Soul Brothers Show, What's on Your Mind with Aunt Boogie, Blame It on the Boogie, and of course, Shoot the Gap, which is of course the High Volume Music Radio app. And you download that app, dude, you get music, you get information, you get entertainment, you get so much, dude. It's a free app. It's the pride of Sunnyside, so it's a local radio station. Check out their website, highvolumemusicradio.com. You'll be happy that you did. All right. And you know what? Let's let the doc take on the other one. How about that? You take the other one, Doc.
Yes. So if you're listening to this show, either on YouTube or the fantastic High Volume Music Radio, you're a fan of sports. You're a fan of football, and you're probably a fan of basketball or maybe European football, right? Well, if you want to talk about that with other sports fans, check out the Sports Host app. It's a fantastic place, fantastic community to go. I believe the Gut actually started a league with some friends from the Sports Host app. So it's a place where you can link up with serious players to play fantasy football. You can talk about other sports. I'm sure the sports world is buzzing now because the NBA just kicked off the preseason. Go to Sports Host app, get involved, talk about sports with sports fans.
All right, man. How you doing in that that league?
I'm not making the playoffs, but one thing that is really cool. No, I'm like,
I had no idea, dude. Really, I really was asking. I'm sorry.
It went down to the wire, but I needed to win out and have one of my opponents lose out, and it doesn't look like that's happening, which is a bummer because I technically have more points than them. But one thing that's really cool about that app is they like to talk about fantasy football. So, for example, I have a friend on that app who asked me, would you trade Josh Allen and Adam Thielen for Tyreek Hill? And I told him, hell no. And
Oh my God. Especially since Hill's sick.
Yeah, and I explained it to him. I convinced him out of it, and he actually listened to me. And then he said, okay, what about Brady and Thielen for Hill? I was like, much better idea.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So
yeah,
if you have any,
sounds like he has a hard on for Hill. So that's
he has a hard on for Hill. Well, he has Dalvin Cook.
Based on that 50-point game that he had, is that what he's doing?
He's chasing the dragon.
That was beautiful to see, though, dude. I'm glad I was alive to experience
Once in a lifetime experience. That is.
Sorry to interrupt you.
That kicked me out of the playoffs in one league and locked my playoff spot in the other.
Yeah, it's like Thanos.
Very like bittersweet.
Balanced as all things should be.
But you were saying, Connor, before we really interrupted you, sir.
No, I was just saying it's cool if you have fantasy questions, the community is more than willing to help.
And it sounds like they give you honest answers and not just stuff to like screw you over. So
yeah, it's very. I try to stay 100% candid on there 100% of the time.
Nice,
as
good.
Everyone else does.
Yeah, good way to live life.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and let's move to what everybody's been waiting for, man. Week 14. Connor being a white man gangster, shoot the gas, shoot or cease fire.
Well, it is spelled the, not the.
Yeah, no, you
Gotta
did the
stay on
side.
brand.
You did the
Yeah,
side.
That is not.
Yeah.
It's not at all how you were supposed to hold a firearm.
I guess. See, this is old man, right? And this is gangster, right? This is crazy. What's that?
This is Granny.
Oh, great. Where is the beef?
Where is it?
Where's the beef?
There
Yeah, that's
love
right.
it.
We got him. Hey, you know what, dude? Since you're here, just let me throw in one bit of news that I've been holding since we haven't had Doc. Josh Gordon is now cleared to come back on week 16. So,
What?
yeah, he is.
I got it.
Flash.
There you go.
That's a perfect segue.
Is he going to be the spark that reignites the stagnant Seahawks offense?
Oh, I'm praying for it so hard, man. I want to see Josh Gordon win it all.
We'll talk about that when we get closer to week 16. But I just wanted to make sure to finally use the reason why I recorded that drop. That was the original reason.
Oh yeah.
I haven't gotten to use it.
The whole year.
That's-
Okay, so go ahead and start us off there, Connor.
Well, if Bill O'Brien was still on the Texans, this would actually be the Battle of the Dunces. Yeah.
He's not currently a coach, but I still want to drop that every time I hear his voice.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Well, no, dude. I mean, you got Nagy. So
The
you know,
Houston Texans are the Chicago Bears. The battle of the mediocre to see who can be worse. If the Bears need a reminder that they had a chance to get Deshaun Watson and missed out, this is going to be another one.
Oof.
Now, currently for this game, it's going to be interesting because both Kiki QT and Brandon Cooks are listed as questionable, and one of the Texans' tight ends is already listed as out. So it's going to be definitely a depleted offense. So for that reason, I'm going to cover some of the Texans players. I am shooting on Duke Johnson. David Johnson has been put back on the COVID list already.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, dude.
wouldn't do that?
Chicago's really good at the run, and Duke Johnson's just average.
That is true, but the Bears have kind of been imploding. The defense
Yeah.
has not been that good.
On the backside. Yeah, on the I mean, we'll see. Keep going. I'm sorry, I interrupted. I hijacked.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
go
Yeah.
ahead.
So-
I'll say my piece when it's my turn. Go ahead.
Duke Johnson, Deshaun Watson. I'm feeling spicy. I'm going to start the Fairbear, and I am starting the Texans D. Those are the players that I'm
Ooh.
shooting on. I'm not saying other people can't do well, but those are the ones that I feel comfortable shooting on.
All right. Yeah, man. I would not do Johnson because I'm worried about the strength of the Chicago defense is the run. Yeah, all through the season they've been weak on tight end and they've been weak on they're weak on the secondary, as you saw last game whenever Matthew Stafford really picked them apart.
It's worth
So I would
noting that Khalil Mack is listed as questionable. If he's out, does that change your opinion?
well, I mean, my opinion is about the run
Yeah,
game.
because he's listed as questionable, and another
Yes,
linebacker is
yes,
already listed
yes,
as out. So
yes,
they could
yes.
be down 2 linebackers.
Yes, that definitely does change it. Yeah,
Good to
that's
know.
yeah. Thank you for bringing that information. I didn't know that, but still, on the surface, that's where I would do it. But yeah, keep an eye on Khalil Mack,
Yep.
Brandon Cooks, and QT. So I think, in my opinion, that they're going to pay more attention to QT than they will Cooks now because QT went off. And so I think they're going to be a shorter passes, I think. So I think it's going to be a good Cooks game. So I'm with you on a lot of the ones that you chose on that one. So those are the only ones that I would I guess change, but I do support like a large amount. I don't think I would start the defense only because I'm worried about the defense, but maybe I'm being. What do you think, dude? I mean, is that recency bias? Are they really good enough to hold Trubisky in your opinion, Connor?
Yeah, I think the Texans are going to have a field day.
Okay. You want to go and take Chicago there, Doc?
Yeah. So, because you're going to start Allen Robinson no matter what, but because Trubisky is still starting, that is his safety blanket. So you want to get in on that. I'm shooting on Allen Robinson. Definitely shooting on David Montgomery because D is very porous. The only thing that can get in the way of David Montgomery doing well is if Watson goes off, puts up a bunch of points, and Chicago's playing catch up, in which case DeMont will not get the love. So there is a game script where DeMont is not valuable, but I'm still shooting on him. And then for ceasefire, I'm not touching either of the tight end options for the Bears.
Really, no Cole Kmet?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's to me that there's other options that are available on the waivers more than likely that I would rather pick up and start.
Houston just been very weak on tight ends, and Cole Kmet's taken over, and Chicago does shoot, or they do target the tight ends in the red zone.
Is Jimmy Graham still playing?
I think so.
Yes.
That's what makes me nervous, is that he's not the featured tight end. I mean, he might be the favorite as of late, but that's what makes me nervous. Tight ends are already.
So you're talking like the indie thing almost, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
where you're like,
I
he's
feel
the
that.
guy this week.
I can feel that. Yeah.
Why don't we go ahead and
but-
keep it? Sorry. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I'm not going to shoot on the Bears D, honestly.
Yeah. I'm ceasefiring on that too. Yeah.
And that's about all that I would start.
All that matters. Yeah. All right. Moving. You want to call the game? Who's going to win, Connor?
I'm taking the Texans. It's gonna be close.
All right, I like it.
All right. Moving on.
All right. Nothing else matters, as Metallica says. Now the next game we have Speaking of nothing else matters, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Cincinnati Bengals for the real. We had the battle of the mediocre.
smell
now
that?
we just have the battle of the bad.
Whew, you smell that?
We
Oh my
handled the
God.
ugly. Now we're just handling the bad.
Woo.
Oh jeez, if it is.
Oh my gosh, dude,
Yeah.
it stinks in here. Okay, come on, Doc, help us out. Do this fast. It stinks in this room. Get us
Yeah.
out of here, big time.
You know what, man? I know we're talking about stinking, but for shooting on for the Cowboys, I'm shooting on Ezekiel Elliott
Mhm.
because
Agreed.
Sunday garbage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think you can start Andy Dalton. Dude has actually done okay. And he's playing a shit
Revenge
What?
game.
revenge game. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that narrative. But Andy Dalton's been serviceable, right? And he's playing against a bad defense. And then because of that, I would shoot on Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb.
Agreed.
I would shoot on Dallas Schultz.
Yeah, Schultzy. Yeah.
And I would shoot on Zerloin, and then that's it for Dallas. Everyone else I'm ceasefiring on.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
Sirloin doesn't injure his Sir Gorin again.
Real quick, can I throw one little bit
Yeah.
of information? Then I'll have you do Cincinnati. I just wanted to say that Dallas, just a little bit of a note. Their left tackle Cam Irving has now headed to IR.
Yeah, and so
So-
is their center.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going. Okay. Keep going, Connor.
And Ezekiel's actually questionable right now, so do monitor that, guys. This might be the Tony Pollard game. And I would actually shoot on Michael Gallup as well, because it's looked to me just on the eye test like he has a little bit of chemistry with Dalton. Moving on to the Bengals, T. Higgins, as I'm sure you guys saw, he injured himself trying to hurdle someone on like the final play, or not, one of the final plays last week. So,
Wow.
guys, start up Tyler Boyd. Okay, this could be another big game for him, and that's really the only Bengals player I'm going to back.
Gio? No Giovanni?
Man, fuck
Giovanni.
Gio and his bitch ass mustache.
Oh, yeah. What about the Randy? Randy.
Randy?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Did you say start Higgins
Well, he's listed as questionable right now, so
But
you
if
have
he
to
plays?
monitor that.
if he plays?
If he plays, yes.
If he plays, start Boyd also still.
Yeah, start Boyd
Okay.
and Higgins.
Okay. And just one little quick note I wanted to throw in there. Yeah, and of course the D is it. Joe Mixon is eligible to return from IR. Connor, you're an owner of Mixon. What's your thoughts on him coming back?
Well,
this
they said he's eligible, but they're not going to bring him back. They would have
Not this
already
season.
they would have already activated him by now.
So it's like an AJ Green situation from last
Well,
year.
yeah, it's just he's one of their talented players. Why get him injured? The season's
Okay.
over.
Anything you want to add on that, Doc?
Nope. Sounds good.
Good. Do you pick who's going to win? Let's get the hell out of this thing. It's starting to get in my
Cowboys
clothes.
are gonna
It's
win. Yeah,
permeating.
let's just continue. This
Yeah.
this next game's actually exciting. I never thought I could say this about the Dolphins, but this is gonna be a competitive game, guys. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins are battling out to see who's gonna be
Dolphins.
Miami
Yeah.
Dolphins.
the Miami Dolphins. The
Can you
Miami
imagine?
they are orange. They are orange.
you imagine
Maybe
a
that's where
dolphin
goes
with-
next.
Andy Dalton's head on it. That would be so funny.
That's
Oh,
what I'm
God.
gonna. That's gonna be the meme for this episode. But
Oh,
but
that's-
anyway, the
Oh,
Dolphins are 8-4, guys. How about that? Who would have thought?
Mhm. Yeah, and they're still
Not me. Not me.
and they're still starting the wrong quarterback at 8-4.
I know. Well, you know, as someone who owned, I dropped him now. But if I was still a Parker or Gesicki owner, I would be just pulling my hair out.
Mm.
Why are you putting this? Like, you could make the playoffs. Like, you could totally make the playoffs.
Well,
Why are you doing this?
well, I would agree with you on being a Parker owner feeling that way. But Connor, what did Gesicki do with Tua last week?
He did pretty good. It is
Yeah.
worth noting. That
17
was
points
with
in a half
Parker. That was with Parker out of the game. So I am chasing the dragon again, so to speak, because I like his matchup better than the Packers matchup against the Lions, because I think the Packers are just going to run all over them, which isn't exactly game script positive for Tanyan, the Honka. So for this game, I am shooting on Gesicki. I am shooting on Myles Gaskin. I am shooting on Devontae, and I am shooting on the kicker, Mr. Sanders. But that's his name, right?
Jason Sanders.
Yes. See, I can learn new kickers' names.
You know, call him the Colonel. Maybe Colonel Sanders.
The Colonel. Okay, yeah. I'm starting the Colonel. I'm not starting the D. Emo, you want to go ahead and handle the Chiefs players?
Yeah. I mean, you're starting Mahomes for sure.
Mhm.
Definitely starting Mahomes. You're starting Tyreek Hill. You're starting Travis Kelsey. Where it starts to get hairy is beyond that. I mean, what are y'all's thoughts on Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Because I mean,
I have one.
it's just
I have one bit of fact there. Miami's defense is number 6 versus the pass, right? But
Mhm.
they're ranked number 24 versus the run.
So you can run on them, and vice versa with the Chiefs.
yes, but the question still remains. It's not Clyde Edwards-Helaire as the featured back.
No, but
You know what I mean?
I still think he's a
Sharing a lot of
flex candidate.
Dude, he did
Yeah.
fine. He did fine before all that mess happened whenever he got out. I mean, he was back in like ruling the backfield before, like right before he was out. Okay, so he's back now. Because I think it was some sort of sickness, right? It was like a non-COVID sickness thing. I don't know what that means, but whatever it was, hopefully it's not a limiting thing. And I think that if he's back, he should be fine. Even though last week he goosed you, it's the first week of the playoffs. It's a little nervy. I say he's startable, but I would like to have somebody else. You know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. Like,
Exactly.
I'm not thrilled with starting him.
Like
I just feel bad telling the listeners start Clyde Edwards-Helaire because in my head I'm like, yeah, he could totally lose you the week. in my
so like, would you start like Rojo or
Rojo.
Clyde? Clyde? Okay, Rojo. Okay. What about Gallman or Clyde?
I don't know who they're playing.
The
Let me look
Giants.
that up.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Arizona.
Oh, I play Gallman over Clyde.
Yeah, me too.
So, wow. Okay. So I'm gonna see if I can find Melvin Gordon, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I'm playing Eclair.
Okay.
I
There's. Okay, found the mark. Okay, I was looking for it, guys. Okay, we can continue. I feel good now.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna call it Chiefs are winning this game. And for anyone that's hesitant because they think the Chiefs have a great passing D, the Honey Badger is listed as questionable right now, and the Chiefs also have a linebacker that's out. So this is not looking like a defensive matchup.
But I will say though, what Kansas City's defense has going for them the most is that Tua is the starter, and he
Yes.
can't move. That's the biggest thing in favor of Kansas.
That's so
He's not as good. I don't know where they drafted him. I'm not a fan of short quarterbacks who aren't named Kyler Murray. He's like knockoff brand Sonic.
Or yeah.
Speaking of which,
knockoff brand.
that's a perfect That's a perfect
Flutie.
segue.
Doug
The
Flutie did good at that size. was it.
Arizona Cardinals are playing the New York Jets, so we have real Sonic. So obviously, we're starting Sonic. We're starting Knuckles.
Hold on. Did you say the Jets or the
The
Giants?
Giants.
Okay.
Yeah. The New York Giants. I know that's a little confusing. DeAndre Hopkins is not listed on the final injury report, so Knuckles is playing.
Okay, so who's Sonic?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. Okay, and Knuckles is D-Hop.
DeAndre Hop. Yeah, and then
Okay.
Christian Kirk is Tails because he's the third wheel.
Everybody forgets.
Yeah.
It seems like Sonic has been eating a few too many chili dogs over the last few weeks.
I agree with you, yeah. He needs to eat
Yeah.
more rings, less chili dogs.
Yeah.
I agree with you though. Yeah, even though that he's been disappointing as late. Yeah. Murray,
Actually,
yeah.
no. Drake is Tails, not Kyler, not Christian Kirk. Drake is Tails. That seems like a much better comp.
Yeah. I think that you dance. We're in the playoffs here. You dance with the person that brought you, and Murray definitely brought you there. So yeah, you dance with that guy.
Yeah, although I was able to pick up Lamar Jackson off of waivers in another league, so I am starting Lamar Jackson over Murray in said league. But I'm not freaking out and like benching Murray and picking up someone like Jared Goff.
Girth. Yeah. What about Zane?
I think he's listed as questionable right now, so you have to
He
monitor
is?
that situation. Yes, he
Holy
is.
mackerel. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good. Actually, if he's hurt, that might help out Drake, actually.
And the Cardinals, is worth noting, they have 4 injuries on defense. 2 is listed as out and 2 listed as true questionable. So just to reiterate what the doc said, start Gallman, and you should be a little more confident starting Slayton and possibly Sterling Shepard. Maybe Evan Ingram even.
Yeah, I think if I had to choose, I'm not sure if he can support the like McCoy or Jones, whoever that is, can support that many
It's
pass
McCoy.
catchers. So I would do Ingram and Shepard. That's who I think I would.
I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna go Ingram and Gallman because he does like to target the running back.
Well, no, I was talking about the receivers. Yeah, you start Gallman. Yeah, but the
Yeah.
receivers, I would say Shepard and Ingram.
Okay.
hmm Yeah. What about uh, what do you think there, Doc? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little nervous. I mean, the Giants defense is I mean, they are. What did you see what they did against the Seahawks last week? I mean,
Yeah.
they're real. Like they come to play, and so. But I'm not starting the Giants defense, and I think that I mean, for Cardinals, you're starting whoever you would normally start for them: D Hop, Murray, Drake, maybe Kirk or Edmonds in the flex, and then for the Giants, I'm a little more. Uncertain or apprehensive to start the receiving options, just because it seems like a dart throw. Which one's going to get the love? But I'm definitely starting Wayne Gallman, and I think I would go Ingram if I'm going to go for a pass catcher.
Okay. Last question, Connor. Would you start the Arizona defense considering
No.
they're starting McCoy or Jones? Okay, cool. Call the game.
Cardinals are gonna barely win. It's gonna be decided by a field goal.
Oh, what? but the kicker might be hurt. It's gonna be decided by.
Well,
a goal.
that lets you know. Okay, well, I'm gonna take away the Cardinals winning. The game's gonna be decided by a field goal, so they might
That's
lose
great.
because of that. Okay.
That's great. That's great. All right,
Okay.
moving on. That's great.
The Minnesota Vikings at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
shit.
and hopefully they can finally find their identity. Who knows though? It's worth noting that the Vikings have 3 tight ends on the injury report right now. They have an out, a doubtful, and a questionable. So their third stringer is out. Rudolph is doubtful, and Irv Smith is questionable.
Well, then don't start a tight end.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
start Justin Jefferson, start Thielen, and start Cook, and those are
Yeah.
the only people you should be starting.
even if they were healthy, I don't think you would start any of those tight ends against this Tampa Bay.
No,
Yeah,
not unless
so-
you have a fetish for shit stick.
Yeah. And so you would sit the D, you would sit Dan Bailey,
Yes.
and or ceasefire on them. Did you say shoot on Kirk Cousins?
No, I left him out on purpose.
Okay, all right. Anything you want to say to that? You want to, and any opinions on Minnesota? And then you want to move to Tampa Bay, Doc?
I can do. I agree with all of what the gut said about the Vikings. For Tampa Bay, I'm starting Tom Brady for sure. Definitely shooting on Brady. I'll shoot on Jones, Ronald Jones, and man, it's just like these pass catching options are so volatile for Tampa Bay. But I'm definitely, you know what? I'll start Godwin. And then I'll go Brown, and then I'll go Evans because Evans is touchdown dependent,
Yep.
and Ronald Jones has been actually getting some love in the red zone lately.
Here's some information. I'll bring you some peace. The Minnesota defense has allowed the second most points to wide receivers.
So then you should be comfortable starting either 3. They should get fed, and I think Brady is getting tired of being looked at as washed. This to me just screams a game where Brady's going to come out and like just want to dominate, whether he actually does or not. You know.
Okay, if that happens, that means that you would cease fire on the defense, because there is a connection that when every time Tom Brady does well, the defense is bad. Every time as far as fantasy points go, every time fantasy points wise, the defense does well, Brady does bad fantasy wise. So that's
Yeah, and personally, I've seen kind of I don't know if this is actually, I'd have to check the data, but I feel like the defense for Tampa Bay has not been as hot over the last several weeks. It's been on a downward. I mean, the last game you were psyched about was Green Bay in Week 6. They haven't gone double digits since then, and the best game they had was against the Giants, and it was 7 points in Yahoo Fantasy scoring.
All right. So ceasefire on the defense and also suck up the kicker. Yeah, because they don't kick field goals. They try to go for touchdowns. Connor, call the game, brother.
Bucks are gonna win.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts on the Bucks that we talked about?
No, I agree with everything you guys said.
All
Let's
right.
keep the ball rolling.
Moving on.
We have the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers, and the age-old question will be decided: who wins in a fight between a horse and a cat? So I'll cover the Broncos because I think it's going to be a short list. Yeah, look, tentatively, I'd be willing to start Melvin Gordon as like a flex play or a desperation RB dart throw. I'd start McMagnus, and that's it, guys. That's literally my list. Fuck Noah Fant. He kind of screwed me over on fantasy. I'm not trusting Drew Lock and the receiving core to do anything for fantasy.
Like Tim Patrick, I mean, he's he's been starting to pop. I heard on another fantasy show that the problem with Tim Patrick is he doesn't have a cool enough name for you to draft him to pick him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone else on the team has cool names. Like
Yeah, Noah
Courtland
Fant.
Sutton, Noah Fant,
Yeah.
Kerry Judy.
Yeah, that sounds like a comic book name,
Yeah,
actually.
Deshaun Hamilton, because you can always say, yeah, Deshaun went Hamilton.
Oh, look at
There's
you,
a lot of
dude.
stuff you can do.
But 2 first names? Come on. Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick.
And not even a last name.
They're not even cool first names. You can't even do Ricky Bobby puns.
Yeah.
Well, Doc, you want to cover the Panthers? You do have several of their players.
Yeah, there's some information here.
Yeah. Well, in a league that I'm not even playing this week, so I haven't paid much attention to that. I know that Christian McCaffrey is not playing, so you're going to start Mike Davis. But even then, Mike Davis has been a letdown over the last several weeks. It seems that he's sharing the role. Maybe that was because he was banged up. And this is also a Denver defense that, like you've brought up many times, Migo, they're run focused, right? They try and funnel it to the passing game. So makes me a little nervous, right? As for the passing option, DJ Moore's out with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll shoot on Robbie Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
I would, you know what, because DJ Moore's out, I'd shoot on Samuel. I'd shoot on Curtis Samuel. I think that both of those guys could have a day.
There's also one important out that you need to consider when talking about starting Robbie and Samuels. AJ Bouye is suspended from so their number one cornerback for Denver is out. So that strengthens you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm definitely starting them. I'll start Joey Sly because I think they'll move the ball. I don't know if they'll be able to get into the end zone, and that's the new way you find a kicker, a team that moves the ball but can't get into the end zone.
Or doesn't have a running quarterback like Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what kills.
And that's about it. I mean, I'm a little more not to conflict with the gut, but there's got to be. I mean, I know you're not thrilled about the Broncos' options, but they're playing against a not great defense.
Well,
so
no, there's definitely going to be one
someone's
good
gonna
guy. Yeah, but that's the
someone's
who.
gonna get points.
But who?
I think honestly, if you had to shoot your shot, if you're in a desperate situation, you're dealing with injuries, I would go Tim Patrick. If you need a flex or like your wide receivers are just depleted and you need someone, I think Tim Patrick is manageable.
What if you've been depending on DJ Moore? Yeah, if you've been depending on DJ Moore, that would be a bad pivot.
Before we move on to the next game, I want to get one question out there just to prove a point to people listening. Who would you guys start, Tim Patrick or Corey Davis this week?
Corey Davis.
Oh, no way, dude. Tim Patrick.
Okay, well, Corey Davis is on waivers, and I actually agree with Brian on this one because if there's one team historically that Derrick Hemi owns, where he can bring out the Hemi, it's the Jaguars, and he had a bad week last week. So
it's a trap. It's a trap.
Perfect segue. This is the next.
Yeah,
game
I just saw that.
So
Yeah,
the Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Who's gonna win the Carolina-Denver game, real quick?
Carolina.
Okay, moving on.
I think Sly's gonna win it for him. He is my guy.
Cool.
So this is officially the Guts Angry Sex matchup of the week. I think
the trap.
Derrick Henry is going to have a field day. And for anyone that thinks he's doing bad, just remember he has 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns on the year. So he's still had a good season. It's just, it's not necessarily Derrick Hemi. It's semi-Hemi.
What did you say, Connor?
Semi-hemi.
Semi him.
Yeah. So obviously we're starting Derrick Henry. Me and
Derrick Henry
Amigo.
Derrick Henry is the perfect manifestation of a traditional running back
Yes.
not being as hot in the PPR league.
Exactly.
Because he can do that. Like if you're in a non-PPR league, Henry is the guy, right? But if you're in a PPR league, it just makes Henry look bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's when it rains, it pours, you know.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. But keep going, Connor. You were on a great streak. So you said Henry. Yeah, you're talking about Henry. Who else would you shoot on?
I would shoot on Tannehill. And I'm not going to shoot on any of the receiving options because like I said, I'm predicting this to be the Derrick Henry game.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I think this seems like a game that you would if you have to, you would shoot on Gostkowski. Let's say if you have Zane Gonzalez and he goes out, Gostkowski might not be a bad pivot. Yeah, only because like towards the end,
there's a high floor.
That's right. That's right.
It's a high floor option.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that about Corey Davis because right now, like the fantasy football darling right now is Corey Davis because we needed last week. But dude, it sounds like a huge trap for the
trap, man. Don't chase
for the
dragon.
wide receiver. Yeah, for the wide receivers and the tight ends. I mean, that's a trap, dude, because it's going to be like you said, it's going to be a Derrick Henry. I mean, it's going to be something. Yeah, so I agree with you. That's what it seems like. On Jacksonville, I would go ahead and I would shoot on Robinson and DJ Shark, because DJ Shark is finally healthy. I would even say Chenault because I think they're going to be playing from behind. So they're always going to use Robinson. That's just part of their game plan. But those are the two guys I think they're going to try to shoot on. So with that idea, I would go ahead and use Mike Glennon. I would shoot on Mike Glennon, knowing this one fact that the Tennessee defense has allowed some of the most fantasy football points to quarterbacks in the last 5 weeks.
All right, we need to hurry it up, guys. We're almost on time. Doc,
okay.
Who would you start for the Jaguars?
I wasn't even on my.
I gave you almost 3 whole minutes, Maine. I'm sorry. We got to keep it moving.
The only thing that I disagree with is I would shoot on the receiving options for the Titans because the Titans don't look like they did last year. They don't have the same O-line, and I think Tannehill is he's throwing the ball, man. He's throwing some heat, and he's even vultured some touchdowns off of Henry in the red zone. So I would shoot on Tannehill and Henry, but I would shoot on AJ Brown as a wide receiver 1 or 2, and Corey Davis in the flex.
Brian, who do you think is going to win this game?
I don't care. Let's move on.
Okay, we all think the Titans are going to move. Very good. Very good. I'm sorry.
I think Tennessee's poor defense will allow the Jaguars to keep up, which is going to keep I think it's going to be actually a higher scoring game.
Which is good. It's exciting. It's not boring angry sex. It's exciting angry sex. So we all think the Titans are going to win. We're all in agreement on that. So probably the Jaguars are going to win and make us all look like idiots. Moving on, the Indianapolis Colts and the Las Vegas Raiders are playing. And since, the Raiders are in Vegas, it's worth noting that the Raiders are betting on themselves to lose. So bear in mind, do with that what you will.
Oh, my God. That's a red flag.
Yes. So
betting on themselves to lose.
I am starting. I'm going to cover the Colts because I've been kind of following the heartbeat of that.
Go for it. Go for it.
This is the J Train week, baby. This is the J Train week. Everything
like last week wasn't.
No, but here's the thing. They say they're going to ride the hot hand approach, and he grossly overperformed Nyheim Hines so much that they even asked Reich in a press conference, why the fuck did you give Hines a 4th and goal opportunity over Jonathan Taylor? And so if he has a single working brain cell, he's going to take that question to heart and put Jonathan Taylor in the red zone.
We'll see, man. In the I agree with you. I think that the odds are that's going to happen. But history shows that it's like he'll overthink it and screw it up, just like he's screwing up the tight ends, just like he screw up the wide receivers. But there's
very true.
No, yeah.
And also, he seems like the kind of coach that does the smoke and mirror thing, where it's like put in Hines because then they'll think you're passing it, but we're gonna have Hines run up the middle. That's the kind of coach he is. So that's gonna throw off your prediction of who's gonna get goal line carries.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So you said Taylor. Who else, man?
I am still putting in Hines as a flex candidate, and Mr. T.Y. Hilton actually has made somewhat of an emergence. He has shown a sign of life. I am counting him as a. Let me finish. He is a desperation flex play if there's nothing else out there. I'm ranking him higher than players like Tim Patrick and such.
I'm not. T.Y.
Okay.
Hilton is because he played in Houston and he hates Houston.
He does hate Houston.
Okay. In fact, I heard one podcast show calls him T.Y. Houston.
He does
Yeah,
claim that he
yeah.
owns the Texans, so I
That's
would,
what-
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only time he really like popped, Now, as far as a fantasy pickup, waiver wire, absolutely, because I think next week they play Houston again,
Exactly.
So yeah, so as that goes, yes, but as far as this game, I think it's going to be a Pittman game. Yeah, but I would go ahead and I would to follow your train. I wouldn't do Hilton only because I'm nervous about it and it's the playoffs.
It is
But-
worth noting that the Raiders have 2 cornerbacks injured. One is out, one true questionable, and a safety that is out. Another safety questionable as well. So they are extremely depleted on the defensive side of the ball.
Okay. Yeah, and so that means that Rivers is going to throw to the tight ends. 'Cause,
Which one?
Yeah, exactly. But Rodrigo, Blankenship, man, I would go ahead and start.
Rodrigo.
Yeah, and I would shoot on the defense. And that's
The-
good
the-
information.
The
that
Colts defense.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah, and yeah. So the tight ends and Hilton are the only ones I would cease fire on. Anything that you want to add there, Doc, and you want to move on to the Raiders?
I can move on to the Raiders. I pretty much I'm not thrilled at all about any of the running back options. Playing one of the best running back defenders, or at least defenses in the league. And it's been pretty disappointing as of late. So I think I'm not going to shoot on any of the running backs. I mean, honestly, there's only one player I would start for Vegas, and that would be Waller.
Waller, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
We're all in agreement on that.
Agreement. Yeah, the kicker is Carlton, I think.
Agreement
Carlson,
is actually a word. Look it up.
okay. Carlson, would you start on Carlson? Would you the
Nope.
kicker?
No,
No.
just
No.
Waller, and I would put Ruggs in.
I don't know.
Connor, as a Jacobs owner, how do you feel about
Nope.
like if he started, would you not?
Waste of time.
Okay, cool. I think that covered. You want to pick who's going to go, and then
I'm gonna go with Vegas. I'm picking the Colts to win.
okay, good. All right.
Now, speaking of waste of time, this game is not going to take long at all for us to cover. The New York Jets at the Seattle Seahawks, and this is another angry sex candidate for today's game because I mean the Seahawks need to pick me up. I'll cover the Jets. I'm not starting any of them.
Really, I disagree completely.
Who are you starting?
Oh yeah. Oh dude. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. In my opinion, this is going to be a shootout. Yeah. I'm going to. I would go ahead and shoot on Perryman, because Mims is out, and also if Crowder is out, I would shoot on Braxton Berrios, and I would also shoot on Darnold because as a surprise thing. Just to go ahead and let you guys know, I think you guys see, I would cease fire on the defense. I know it's the number one, it's against the Jets and everything, but I think people are overlooking the Jets or looking past the Jets. And the number one thing that the Jets or the Seahawks are that they lack in, that you can attack is the receiving, and that's what I think that the Jets are good at. So I think that they're going to go ahead and exploit that. So I think that, in my opinion, it's going to be a shootout. Because of course, they're going to be playing from behind. I could see Seahawks like getting like a couple of touchdowns in and then just kind of pulling off the gas a little bit. And so I could see them starting to score that way. So I would do Perriman, Berrios if Crowder is out, and Sam Darnold. I would cease fire on Ty Johnson. I know that he's the only running back in the Jets right now. But one thing that Seahawks do very well with is defend the run. So I would not want to put that guy out there. And of course, the defense I would not shoot on. So that's my thought on the Jets. You already know that on Seattle. You already know that I would cease fire on the D. But one of you guys take Seattle.
Let me go. I'm sorry, Doc.
I'm starting Russell Wilson. I'm starting Tyler Lockett. I'm starting DK Metcalf. I'm starting Chris Carson. And that's about it. I think those guys are – I think going beyond there, too much of a dart throw. And I just want to reiterate that I agree very much with what you said, your assessment, amigo, because I was playing someone last week who they were chasing whoever's playing the Jets, which I dropped that. I learned my lesson 10 weeks ago or however long ago that was. But then don't chase it because they're going to lose, but they're going to score points, right? Mm-hmm. And whoever I was playing picked up the Raiders, and the Raiders defense had negative points. So be careful. Be careful.
Yeah. I'm of a different train of thought because I'm actually starting Seattle, but I'm going to explain that on our next show. So moving on.
After the game.
After I see the game and watch it and see the proof, I'll tell you.
We're already up to time, so I'm not going to waste it on this episode. So moving on, I have the Seahawks winning that game, of course.
Okay.
Next we have these next couple of games aren't going to
Let's just go. Let's just go.
Long, so we shouldn't waste time on them. They're not good fantasy options.
Let's just go.
The Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions are playing a little better now that their coach is finally gone. Like I said earlier, I think the Packers are going to run all over them. So start Aaron Jones. Obviously, you're starting Devontae Adams. You're starting Aaron Rodgers, and I would sit the Honka.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be a Lazard game. I would go ahead and I would shoot on the defense because 2 of the last 3 defenses that played against Detroit have scored in double digits. And also no defenses have gone back-to-back scoring low points against Detroit the whole season. So if they have
to add icing onto the cake, the Packers D is showing signs of life.
Yes, that's right. And of course, and I'll just quickly, you're talking about Joe Mixon. I asked you about Joe Mixon. I will tell you how I feel about Kenny Galladay. I don't think that guy's come back either. Okay. So and he's not going to be. Yeah, he's not going to be in that game. Marvin Jones is going to be shadowed by Jaire Alexander. So last time he did that, he only got 4 catches. Didn't do really well. And so now even though Swift is trending to play, I'm still a little nervous about that guy. So I'll just go and move real fast to Detroit. I would go ahead. Even though that I'm a little nervous about him, if Swift doesn't play, I would start Adrian Peterson. If Swift plays, then I would go ahead and shoot on Swift. I would shoot on Hawkinson. That is it that I would do on Detroit. I would cease fire on Stafford, on Prater, on the defense, on Marvin Jones and Amendola. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on anything that Connor and I just covered, Doc?
I don't know if I agree with the assessment that Green Bay is just going to run it down the throat, because I haven't seen that happen very much this year, even in games where they seem to be pretty dominant. So as an Aaron Jones owner, I am aware of how much Aaron Rodgers loves to just throw the ball into the end zone when they're on the 4-yard line. So I would shoot on Tanyan as a tight end option. And so that's where I differ, because I've just seen, because I've watched them because I have Aaron Jones. Okay. Right. And I had him all year, and I saw Aaron Rodgers throw the ball to him or Lazard or Devontae Adams or anyone whose name is not Aaron Jones in the goal line.
Yeah, I see. I've watched. I'm with you. I watched the games too, and that's why I agree with Connor. I would cease fire on Tanyan because I think it's going to be a Lazard game. Yeah, that's what I think.
But it's not the running the ball down their throat idea. It's like he's going to throw it to someone else.
I think the second half of the third quarter on is going to be the Aaron Jones show. But and that's why I would go ahead. It'd be Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams because I think they're going to run it in. But call the game, Connor. Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Packers are going to win. Moving on, the Saints and the Eagles are playing, and Voldemort. So for this game, there's talk of Breeze coming back. We don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this is where the Stitians get super. But I think that Mr. Warlock himself, Brady, put a hex on Breeze because he was mad that he beat him in prime time. But I know I'm probably the only one in the world that thinks that. I'm also starting Mr. Predator himself, AK-41.
Yep.
Michael Thomas, of course. The Easter Island head is going to be great again. And obviously we're starting Will Lutz and the Saints D.
Easter Island.
That's what he looks like.
Dude, you said so many funny things in that whole analysis. I'm still laughing about the Stitches is going to get super. That's awesome. I love that, dude. That made me laugh, dude. Let me laugh.
Brother. Madagascar 2 reference.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So did you say to shoot on Hill on Voldemort? Yes?
No,
No?
I
Okay.
I'm of if he's starting and Breeze is out, then yes.
Okay, yeah. Breeze is not going to play, so the defense I would shoot on. Lutz I would shoot on. Cook. What's your thoughts on Cook, Connor? And Murray, Cook and Murray, real quick. What's your thoughts on those two guys?
I'm not
Okay,
shooting on either of them.
yeah. Murray only got 5 carries last week. Doc, hit us with Philadelphia.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I'll
Maybe
help you. Yeah, Goddard. Yeah, because I think Hurts will help. Will be an upgrade for him. I think so. I think that's the only guy. Well, Hurts. No, the
Jalen Hurts.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Ertz. No, Ertz is a non-factor.
Yeah, but Hurts.
But one thing I would want to talk about, like as a hit on Miles Sanders, is that the offensive tackle Jason Peters is out for the season, so that hurts there. So yeah, Sanders is hard to trust against just in general, but against the Saints, no. So yeah, Goddard I think would be the only guy that you'd want to take a shot on, only because the tight end landscape is so the way it is. Who's going to win, Connor?
It's going to be the Saints, and it's not going to be close.
Moving on.
Next we have.
Let me just say this on Miles Sanders.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's only 2 games this entire season where he's scored more than 15 points in Yahoo scoring format.
Oh my gosh! Third round
round
pick. Holy mackerel! Good to know. Yep. Good to know. I guess that's gonna be part of the lessons we learned after the season. Yeah. Okay.
It's a complex lesson, but I got it.
Moving on.
The Atlanta Falcons are playing the Los Angeles Chargers. And speaking of lessons, let's hope the Chargers coach learned his lesson and actually uses all the talent on his team. I'll cover the Falcons. Brian, do you happen to know if Todd Gurley's healthy for this week? He doesn't show it on the injury report, but
he's a gimpy Gurley. Yeah.
Gurley, and Julio is out, so that means start Calvin Ridley, start Russell Gage. And those are the only 2. And Matt Ryan, of course. Those are the 3 options. What are you trying to say?
Youngway.
Yeah, but that's come on, man. That's obvious. He's Youngway Koo.
Oh, listen to this. Listen to this. It just came over. Zane Gonzalez has been ruled out for week 14.
Okay.
It's Young Who.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Youngway. Yeah.
And
so Zane Gonzalez.
It's Young Who.
Y'all heard that, right? Zane Gonzalez is out.
So that just confirms what we talked about earlier. Find a high floor option for kicker if you have Gonzalez.
Gostkowski would be a good pivot.
And Sly's actually available on a lot of waivers right now.
Oh, never mind. That's a pivot.
Week.
Yeah, that's a pivot. Good.
Sly's
what about
actually
Hill?
The biggest kicker. If you look at pictures of him, he's got some muscles.
Yeah, he's pretty sly. Hill, would you? So with Gimpy, Gurley,
I would not start any of the Falcons running backs.
Hurst? What about Hayden Hurst?
No.
Okay. What about the defense? No.
Yeah, I'm starting the Falcons D. Everyone loves starting the Falcons D for fantasy. No, I'm not starting the Falcons D.
Yeah. Well,
okay. What about the Chargers, amigo?
The Chargers, of course, we're going to do Herbs. Herbert. We're going to make sure. I think he's going to have a bounce back. I would.
If he takes some herbs, maybe.
The haircut, man. The haircut, dude. It's catching up with him.
Yeah.
I would definitely shoot on Eckler, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry. And also, I would do Mike Williams because the Atlanta D has allowed the most fantasy football points to wide receivers on Williams' side of the ball. So I think he's going to do well. I think Bagley, I would go ahead and start him, the kicker. But also, I wanted to get your opinion. Actually, I'll ask Doc about this. Doc, everybody knows about Kalen Ballage, and it's been the Ballage and Eckler thing, right? Well, now Justin Jackson should be activated now. He should be back. So how does that affect Eckler and Ballage, real quick?
It makes me not want to start Ballage even in the flex, and it doesn't do anything, in my opinion, to Eckler. You're still starting him.
Okay. And do you have any opinion on anybody that I said to sit or ceasefire would be Ballage or Jackson in my, and also the defense, of course. Any opinions on those?
The only opinion I have is on Matt Ryan. I don't think I would start Matt Ryan. I think I would ceasefire whenever Julio's out. It feels like Matt Ryan forgets how to throw the football.
Nice.
So honestly, I feel like everyone else is going to suffer too. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Matt Ryan thing, but I do like the Ridley and Gage pick. So
I'm still starting those 2 guys, but I'm not starting Matt Ryan.
Yeah. All right, Connor, call the game and let's move to the next one.
Falcons are gonna win. So
Whoa!
yeah, I know. I don't.
No,
feel
my
comfortable-
gosh!
I don't feel comfortable
I
picking
wouldn't.
that at all.
I wouldn't either.
So next, the Washington football team, known as WTF, and the Niners are playing, and little spicy revenge game for Alex Smith. Maybe Alex Smith is gonna come in and put on a show. Now,
Think so?
I don't know. It is worth noting that one of his best offensive players, Antonio Gibson, is out. Obviously, we're starting Scary Terry, and besides the tight end, whose name is evading me, but I know it's Luke something. Logan Thomas. Thank you. Logan Thomas. I
Good
knew it
old
was-
Luke.
I thought it was Luke Thomas. So Logan Thomas, Scary Terry. I'm not starting any other options. Offensively, I'm starting the defense, staying away from the kicker. Those are my picks for the those are who I'm shooting on for WTF.
Dude, I'm right on with that, dude. Even though San Francisco has been the toughest versus tight ends in the past 5 games, they got to throw to somebody, and it's not just going to
Who
be
does Smith target.
Yeah, right. It's not just going to be Terry. It's going to be Thomas. They do. He does like to jump off a lot to the running back. So McKissick might be a flex
Yes,
option.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I would definitely shoot on McKissick.
Okay, yeah, especially
I
with
as well.
with Gibson needing a tow truck. Yeah, it's the third time I use that joke. But Doc, go ahead and hit San Francisco.
San Francisco, man. Well, if you're gonna go that route, Mostert, I think, is someone you can put in the flex. I don't know if he's going to be able to deliver that much more. I mean, Washington's front seven is just so insanely powerful. I mean, it is. That's how you draft a defense right there. Whatever Washington. So I'll start Mostert, but I'm not happy about it. I'd start Brandon Ayuk. Dude showed up last week. Deebo Samuel, I think, is a decent flex, but he seems to lose his power when Ayuk is in. His games that he's been the most that he's put up the most points have been when Ayuk wasn't there. So that's definitely something to consider. I can also see Jordan Reed being a decent start. Some might say it would be potentially a revenge game if he can remember his time in Washington. And then, you know what? I'm starting the San Francisco D because Washington is definitely, they can put up points. I mean, they beat the Steelers last week, but, they lost Antonio Gibson. I mean, he was a big part of that offense, and I don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball as effectively without getting.
Robbie, what about Robbie Gould, the kicker?
Robbie Gould. Yeah, I mean, if I could pivot to Sly or someone like that on waivers, I would. But if you got no other options, I'd start him.
Jeff Wilson?
No.
Coleman?
I'm not going to pursue any of the other running back options in San Francisco other than Mostert, and I'm not even thrilled about Mostert.
Dwelly?
Why don't you tack on the Niners fullback while you're at it, Brian?
Yeah, no, because these are guys that they've been talking about in the like in the fantasy football podcast.
We know how the Niners backfield works. The other podcasts might not be astute enough to predict it, but it's just a rotating carousel. You don't know which one's gonna do. This is shit stick in a game of shit stick.
Okay,
I think you would start Mostert would be the one that you would throw your dart on it.
That's the only one worth.
A couple things I want to say real quick on the wide receivers. Ayuk has had a touchdown or 75 yards in the last 5 games, 13 targets over the last 3 games. Deebo Samuel right now is limited in practice with a sore foot. So,
I did not know that.
Yeah, just throwing that out there. Okay, that's all I got, Connor. Okay. I'm not going to talk about the water boy or anything. Okay,
you might as well. So
you want to call the game?
WTF is going to take this game.
Okay, go for it.
So this is probably going to be the most exciting matchup of the week: the 11-1 Pittsburgh Steelers and the 9-3 Buffalo Bills face off. Now I'm going to cover the Steelers since I have
go for it.
Bit of investment in their offense. I am shooting on my namesake, although I wish you would fucking spell it correctly, James Conner. I'm shooting on Chase Claypool. He'd do better if he spelled it the right way. He spells it the Scottish way, not the Irish way. So James Conner, I'm shooting on him. Chase Claypool, shooting on him. Deontay Johnson, even though he has upset me all season, shooting on him. Juju in full PPR for a floor play, shooting on him. And
Agreed.
then Ebron, shooting on him. I'm not starting Boswell because he fucking sucks. He's in the room with Fat Randy. And
Oh
Lex,
no! Oh
and,
no!
I'm starting the Pittsburgh D because Josh Allen is turnover prone.
I would not, because if I was looking at the history, and all the defenses versus Buffalo have scored in single digits the whole season. Not one has scored well.
If there's one defense that can shut down Josh Allen, it's Mike Tomlin and the Steelers.
And the cornerback Joe Hayden, their star cornerback, he's out on a concussion.
Well, thankfully, the next man up, Minka Fitzpatrick, will do just nicely.
He's on the other side. Yeah, Minka's on the other side. Yeah, so I think they're going to attack that side. So I would in this situation, I see where you're going at it. You know, especially since you danced with who got you there. But in this situation, I would not start. I would not fire or shoot on Pittsburgh defense or Ebron. Yeah, Ebron. So I would be worried that would be too many mouths to feed, because I agree with you. All the other ones.
The target share is there, but I see your argument.
I agree with you. Everything that you said. Agree with everything
Doc,
you said.
you want to cover the Bills?
Yep. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna start Josh Allen. Shoot on Josh Allen. Shoot on Diggs. Shoot on Beasles. Beasles has been doing spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as thrilled about I don't think I'm going to start Singletary or Moss. I think Pittsburgh defense is going to lock down the run and force them to beat them through the air, which I think will be great for Diggs and Beasley and Allen. Not so great for the running backs. Not starting the Buffalo defense. I'm going to definitely cease fire on them. And there's going to be a big scoring game. There's going to be a lot of points to go around. I think that those three options are your best bet.
Yeah, I think Tyler Bass, the kicker, is like number 3, like in the league. Yeah, in fantasy points. Yeah, so he's doing really well. And I know it's been a while, but remember, dude, we call Singletary, we call him Dingletary. You know, around yeah. Remember that. But yeah, I agree with everything you said.
I'm gonna call the Bills to lose to the Steelers in this one, but it's gonna be an exciting shootout. I'm taking the over. Steelers to win by probably a field goal.
Connor, is this the toughest game to call?
No, that was the Falcons game.
Okay.
Yeah, that one truly was the hardest for me to get a feel on.
Okay, cool. This is the last one, right?
Last game. You could call it America's game.
It's Monday night.
Monday Night Football. Sadly, no more Tuesday Night Football, which has been one of my favorite things about 2020.
It can still happen.
Yeah, never count the Ravens out for Tuesday Night Football. That's a great point. I'll cover the Ravens. I am shooting all over Mr. Lamar Jackson. I'm giving him a double load because he's the guy that got me to the dance last year. I agree with you. Yeah, and I'm not starting Marquise Brown just because he's burned me like at least 4 times this year. So I'm not taking the girl to the dance who stood me up 4 times. Okay. As far as the running backs go, is Mark Ingram still on COVID?
No, but you would think so after watching him play last game.
Yeah, because it was all the Dominator, who I am starting.
He is the Dominator. Yes, sir.
The Dominator. So
yes,
the Dominator,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Jackson, and then Mark Andrews is still on COVID, correct?
No, he's back. Yeah,
he's back. Then him as well. Those 3 guys.
Yeah, the Cleveland defense have third most in fantasy football points to tight ends. So
there you go. I am not starting the Ravens D. Of course, you're starting Justin Tucker, especially with where you drafted him.
Agreed.
Amigo, you want to go ahead and cover the Browns?
Holy crap, dude! You and I were 100% lined up on all those picks, dude. Nice. Every single one. Yeah, I was riding that horse that you were leading, dude.
Awesome.
So yeah. Good job. Okay, yeah, on Cleveland. This one was tough, dude. You gave me a tough one. You really gave me a tough one. You really did, dude. Let's get the easy ones out, like Landry. Landry's an easy one. Yep. I would go ahead and put out there. And also easy is to cease fire on Hooper. Okay, and Harrison Bryant.
Can I actually come back and say something?
Please.
I'm going to start the Ravens D because the Browns have a guard who is out and an offensive tackle and a center who are both listed as questionable.
Holy mackerel.
And Austin Hooper is listed as questionable.
Yeah, I know about Hooper being listed as questionable. Okay, My biggest problem has been the running backs because Chubb has been just on fire, right?
Yeah.
But last time they played, which was back like on week 2, Hunt was the one that got the most points because week 1. It was the first game of the season. The Hunt got the most points because they were behind, and so they had to pass more. But that's whenever Hunt was considered the pass catching back. Seems like that's all kind of changed. So, if you have Chubb, you're going to go ahead and start him because you're in the playoffs and you wouldn't do that. Hunt, I guess, would be a desperation flex in my opinion. And of course, I would go ahead and I would shoot on the defense because even though Jackson is awesome, he's also a turnover prone. So I would do that. And then Rashard Higgins, the wide receiver that seems to be the one everybody seems to like, or at least the most highly owned, I would go ahead and cease fire on him. Anybody that I missed there, Doc?
No, I covered it.
What do you think about the running backs? Give me your opinion on that because I'm really on the fence on both of those.
Well, I think Baltimore's defense is quite depleted. So I think that you don't want to just assume that Cleveland's not going to get their running backs aren't going to get their yards and their touchdowns because it's not the same defense that you've been seeing all year. They're pretty depleted. So I like starting both Chubb and Hunt.
Okay, all right, Connor.
Hunt.
What did you say?
I said Chunt.
Oh,
because they're both the.
Okay.
You know, like Brad Lena.
Yeah, there's really close to that one word that most people follow.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Connor, all right,
Ravens are gonna let me get us out of this hole we've dug ourselves into. The Ravens are gonna win this week.
All right. Well, that wraps up the Shooter Cease Fire, man, for week 14, your first week of the playoffs. Congratulations if you made it, and if you haven't, just learn the lessons and then get better next year, and also play the consolation bracket, man. If they still allow you to play as hard as you can, man. Seriously,
face your trials and tribulations and go through the consolations. You can get congratulations that way as well.
Holy mackerel. Listen to that little Dolomite. Yeah. That's awesome, dude.
I do have his laugh.
That's fantastic, dude. That's fantastic. So everybody, if you guys enjoyed watching 3 generational beefheads banter about, what should they do, Connor?
They should like and subscribe. And if you don't like it, dislike twice.
There you go. That's a little tip from Connor there. And Doc, you want to handle the thanking our supporters?
Supporters, the sponsors, you mean, right?
The supporters of the show, yes, sir.
Okay. Both of them.
I mean, my mom supports the show. That's why.
I'm sorry. Like, if we're talking about sponsors, so we're talking about the High Volume Music Radio. It's a great platform for you to listen to some great local shows in Houston. Fantastic music. You can catch us on there as well. And also check out Sports Host app. As I said, great place to go. Talk about sports, wonderful community, get connected.
Nice. Yeah, Private Sunnyside, High Volume Music Radio, and Sports Host, fantastic. Now we're recording this Saturday, for Sunday and for Monday. Now make sure and hit that like and subscribe so you can get our blasts and blanks that we usually shoot on Monday night. So you will get that on Tuesday. And so now it's time for parting shots. Doc, since you've been gone the most, how about you go ahead and hit that parting shot, man?
So we're talking a lot about playoffs, but there are, if you only have a 4-team playoff, you still have your last week to get in. So just, if it's a long shot, don't lose hope. Keep going for it. Keep trying. Crazier things can happen.
Connor?
Stay water.
Yeah. My parting shot would be just man, no matter what the outcomes are, okay, it's football, enjoy the games. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know that you're watching and X running back is scoring all these points, but even though like the X running back is scoring all these points, don't forget the reason why you're even playing fantasy football is the love of the game. Yeah, and so don't let like an incredible like run or like what I experienced watching Cam Akers, dude. That was an awesome performance by Cam Akers, right? I chose to enjoy it instead of be like, oh man, fumble, whatever. No, man, that's football. It was fun to watch. It was great. So yeah, enjoy the games. We don't know how much more we have. 2020 is a weird thing. We don't even know if we're gonna make it to the end of the
society
year.
might be over in 5 years, man. What if this is the last NFL season you ever get to watch? Huh? Is
Yeah.
that really how you want to go out?
Enjoy it while you can. Yeah, man, good point. So on behalf of Ethan, the Doc Marshall, and Connor, the Gut Marshall, and me, your humble MC, Brian the Amigo Baldwin, we want to thank you guys for watching, and we hope the best for your teams and the worst for your enemies. And you know what, last time I had Connor help me out with the closing line. Let me see if Doc can pull it off. Let me see if he can. Yeah, we already know how Connor did. All right, so Doc, help me out here. Remember, everyone, in fantasy football, as in life,
Don't dream it, be it.
yeah, you landed the plane. Look at you. Oh, good luck, everybody. Hope you win all your games.
Good luck in your games, guys.